19 male, girlfriend, 26 female, drunkenly ducked one of her girlfriends. She says it's not cheating because they are both straight. Does that make sense? A short time ago, I walked in on my girlfriend of 2 years while she was naked in bed with another woman. I'm not sure how I should feel. According to her, she invited a group of her girlfriends over to have a few drinks. They all got very drunk and incredibly rowdy. I know she has a habit of getting handsy with other women when drunk, so I'm assuming that happened. He said that the other women left and it was just her and her one friend. They drank more and she said they started getting very handsy. She then brought her to the bedroom and cheerfully and graphically described what they did to each other. They then fell asleep and woke up to me in her room. I was dumbfounded how she could be so cavalier about this. I was near tears. She then asked what I was so upset about. She then started rubbing my crotch and said, "I thought this should be exciting to you. You should be hard. Men are supposed to enjoy this. Next time I'll let you watch." I pushed her hand off of me and started crying. She then said that I don't need to be hurt. She said that her and her friend were completely straight and they were just having fun. I was very hurt, but I wasn't sure if she was right. I told her that I wanted to forgive her, but I needed time. I haven't seen her in person since I walked in on them. I'm very confused. I'm new to dating and I'm not sure if this is a thing that just happens. What can I do? I miss my wife. I'm getting divorced. It is tearing me apart inside because I came from a broken home and I vowed I'd never get divorced, I'd work it out. But she had an affair. I tried to forgive her. I tried to move on in the marriage. I mean, we've been together for 15 years. We've built something grand together from the nothing both of our parents provided us. But we're both kidding ourselves. Our relationship had crashed and burned years ago. She became an entirely different person that I didn't recognize. For 2 years this went on. We had several counseling sessions, but she just wouldn't stop talking to him. I caught her sexting him twice after our therapy sessions. I was sleeping and woke up to find her passed out drunk. Her phone had fallen from her hand beside my head. I woke her up, asked her what this shit was, and then whipped her phone and said we're done and that I want a divorce. She chased me into the other room, pleaded with me, said she'd stop, she'd get help. My demand for divorce woke her up, etc. She said he made it difficult for her to leave him, and she'd been appeasing him for the last little bit of their affair, because he'd threatened to game end himself or game end me. I would much rather have had the physical confrontation with him than have her protect me. She robbed me of that primal urge to bash his ducking face in. It's probably good in the long run, but I feel so ducking cheated that way. I've been stuck in our home with her for a few months since then and I do believe it's over. She's remorseful and regretful and all that. She says she was lost and not thinking clearly because our relationship had fallen apart. And I believe all of it. I know she was hurting and lost. But I don't care. I can't look at her the same way anymore. She repeatedly made the choice to cheat, lie and disrespect myself and our vows. And the worst part, she gave me a ducking stee for duck's sake. I could stay and work it out. I'm old and don't really anticipate even attempting to meet anyone else, let alone establishing any semblance of what she and I had together once. I don't ducking want to. But even if I stayed, my girl is gone. I can never look at her the same way as I had before all of this happened. Even if she thinks she's back to normal, she's changed. And I'll always long for the person she was, even though she says I'm right here, and he'll always be there in my mind. And probably in hers. I miss her terribly. I've only really begun to grieve after all this time. She was love of my life, my person. I'm sure it's going to hit harder once everything is finalized and we walk away from our beautiful home and each other for the last time. But I have to accept reality and keep moving. Right now I'm a ducking wreck. I'm taking stress leave from work because I can't function. Duck cheaters. What I learned from my infidelity. From as long as I can remember, I had decided I'll never have an affair in my life. My father had one. My sister and some of my friends through the years. Hurting someone that bad as I've seen was unbearable pain to everyone involved. I have witnessed and been on the comforting side of those hurt by the affair and also those who initiated it. Each time I was more determined I'll never hurt someone like this. In the end, despite the values I had in my life, I had become the person I swore never to become. Infidelity is always a choice, no matter what you tell yourself or how you justify your action. Problems in a relationship are never a reason to have an affair. You made this choice in your head before the affair began. This tends to have a little build up. It begins with the little things like talking on social media, work, parties or some place you meet and casually talk together, and it will seem innocent at first. Then you start sharing things about your relationship, problems, feelings, or in general talking about things you wouldn't tell your friends or even your partner. This person will then seem to understand you better than your partner. You'll think first about telling them important news in your life instead of your partner. Meeting new friends of the opposite gender when you're in a relationship is a slippery slope, and in my experience leads mostly to affairs or some kind of flirting which builds up feelings towards that person. I've had two new friends like that. One was a thin line that I wasn't sure what kind of friendship it was, so I made a choice to let it fade out before anything happened, but that was after I had learned it the hard way. The other one was in fact an old friend but also my high school crush. We all had one, and sometimes the one that got away, well, in our heads anyway. We met on a work trip years ago and clicked right away like time hadn't passed at all. Talking every day for a couple of months, I found a sudden rush of happiness. Each message pop up on my phone, I prayed that it was from that person, and a smile on my face when it was. Long forgotten feelings came alive that were lost in everyday life of family routine and underestimating the work of keeping the things interesting. I began to see life in colors instead of what seemed like a grey fog of watching Netflix and scrolling through our phones until we went to bed every night. When I let those feelings inside without questioning them, the choice was made in my heart without the brain noticing. Long story short, we finally both initiated an affair with a kiss and what would become months of sneaking, lying, and in the end me asking for a divorce with my partner for over 13 years. It was a roller coaster I wish today I had never chosen to get on. Looking back on my actions, there is not a day that goes by I don't think about what I did. The pain I caused to my partner, our children and myself is something I will have to carry for the rest of my life. We didn't divorce since my partner believes that if something is broken you don't throw it away, you fix it. The next day of me asking for a divorce and confessing infidelity, my partner went out and boxed a heavy bag for hours imagining it was me. Afterwards came home quite calm with bruised knuckles and told me we were going to couples therapy. I was afraid and the feeling just sunk in that I've made some really bad decisions these past months. Therapy was extremely helpful and I recommend it to every couple facing hard times, and I might say therapy is necessary to cope with what has happened. Communication and most important how you'll build your relationship up again. How I love my partner to bits for never giving up is admirable beyond words. We're in a much better place today, but affairs are like scars, they heal with time but are always there to remind you what happened. What I learned from all of this is simply distance yourself from those who give you feelings you should have with your partner. It might start innocent but end up ugly. Don't let everyday life be the reason of your relationship fading away. Love is a work well worth it. Even though there was an affair, not all is lost as long as you refocused on the recovery of your relationship. If you had an affair, be honest and take responsibility for your actions. Looking for the greener grass on the other side while in a relationship, I say that starting a new relationship built on an affair is most likely to have another affair, or that there will be difficulties in your new relationship to trust since you had an affair to begin with. It's really never a story of happily ever after. I hope this helps anyone understanding more of an emotional affair and for those that have experienced infidelity. Can targeted ads show infidelity? Hey, so I keep getting ads for Hinge, dating app, on me and my BFS shared YouTube account. I have caught him cheating before, so it's not me overreacting per se. It's been a few times a day within the last 2 days. Yes. Shit's for real? Couldn't it just be based on ages range and activity on porn sites or something? I'm not sure what to think, shaking my head. Don't want to confront him yet because still uncertain. Yes, I was on a dating app and I was getting bombarded with dating ads. Now I have a different phone and I don't have an account on a dating site anymore, and I've noticed I'm not getting any dating sites ads. However, I did searched for a coffee machine a few times and now most of my ads are about coffee machines.